Hey guys, welcome back to another upSchool video. In today's video, I'm going to be explaining Chapter 2 of NCERT Class 7 Geography Inside Our Earth chapter. So I'm going to be explaining this full lesson. It won't be divided into parts or anything. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like this video. And yeah, without any further ado, let's begin. So I'm going to be explaining all the points that we'll be learning in this video. First, layers of the Earth. Second, types of rocks. 3, uses of rocks. 4, rock cycle. 5, minerals. So I'm going to be explaining all these concepts thoroughly, and by the end of this video, you'll be fully understanding this lesson. In my next video, I'll be just talking about the answers. I'll be explaining the question answers of this chapter 2, Inside Our Earth. Introduction. Earth is a dynamic planet. And what do you mean by dynamic? Dynamic means it's constantly undergoing changes. So Earth is a planet that's constantly undergoing changes inside and outside. But what is actually the inside of Earth? What is the interior of Earth? What is Earth made up of? We're going to be learning about all these concepts in this lesson. Let us begin. Interior of Earth. So Earth is divided into various different layers, which I'll be explaining right now. So the outermost layer is known as the crust. Alright, the blue thing, the artist decided to draw it blue, but it's not actually blue. But the outermost layer, the thin layer, is known as the crust. The rocky layer, the brown layer, as you can see in this picture, is known as the mantle. And this red plasma thing and this yellow thing is actually its own layer. These two things are known as core. Now I just explained this chapter. I just explained this by kind of saying thing, but this is the core, this is the mantle, and the red is actually what's known as the outer core, and this huge yellow is the inner core. So now let's learn about these 3 different layers thoroughly. Before we begin, let's just learn about the ideology behind the layers of the Earth. So if you've ever seen an onion, as you know, it's made up of various different layers, or concentric layers. This means it's circle. Concentric means circle. The various different circle layers of an onion. Think of the Earth's layers as the onion layers. It's various different circles. The crust is its own circle. The mantle, circle. Outer core, circle. Inner core, circle. It's the same thing. It has concentric layers. So to understand it, think of it as onion layers, but except onion layers don't have names, but the layers of the Earth have names, but they're all concentric. And it's just the ideology to actually understand the layers of the Earth. So now let's learn about the layers of the Earth thoroughly. First, crust. Crust is the uppermost layer of the Earth. It's also the thinnest layer of the Earth, and on the continental masses, the crust is 35 kilometers, and it's made of sile. Now, sile is a term to just talk about 2 different elements. The Si is silica, and the Al is alumina. Now, the ocean floors is about on the ocean floors, the crust is about 5 kilometers, and it's made of sima. Now, the S sign sima stands for silica. The Ma is magnesia. So we learned about many different elements. Let's learn about these elements in detail. Silica. Silica is actually used in many plastics, but of course that means that silica is the one that's polluting our environment, so we should stop using plastics. But I just want to let you guys know that plastic is what silica is used in. Alumina. Alumina is used to make spark plugs. Spark plugs are basically tools that are very useful for humans. And magnesia is used to make furnaces and fireplaces. Now let's learn about the second layer, the mantle. Mantle is below crust, and its depth is 2,900 kilometers below the crust. It's solid, and it's very hot. In fact, the temperature is about 3,000 degrees Celsius, which is very hot. And the mantle is actually important for the movement of the lithospheric plates. Now, the lithospheric plates, you'll learn about that in the next chapter of Class 7 Geography, Chapter 3. But for now, let's try to understand that lithospheric plates. So another layer in the mantle is known as the lithosphere. It's very rocky as well. The lithosphere is divided into different plates, and the movement of the lithospheric plates can cause, the formation of mountains or other landforms. So the mantle actually helps in the movement of these lithospheric plates. Next, let's learn about the core. The core is the last layer and it's the innermost layer. The radius is 3,500 kilometers. It's made of knife. Knife is the element. The Ni is nickel. The Fe is ferrous. And the upper core is actually liquid, so this part, while the lower core is actually solid. This kind of orb. It's very has high temperature, which is why it's very hot and bright, and has high pressure as well. So we learned about two different elements. Let's just try to get a brief understanding of these. Nickel, the element over here, is used to make many smartphones. So the latest iPhone 12, it might have nickel in it. Ferrous. Ferrous is used to make. Ferrous is another word for iron, and iron, as we know, is probably used in many things, but it's also used in different utensils. Next, let's learn about rocks and minerals. The next part of this lesson, rocks and minerals. Earth's crust is made of various different rocks. Alright, so what is a rock? A rock is any natural object made of minerals that are part of the Earth's crust. So the Earth's crust is made of many rocks. The Earth's mantle is made of magma, and the Earth's core is also, it's made of different magma, and it's very hot temperature. But the Earth's crust, is try to understand that it's very rocky. Alright, that's an important term. Just learn about the Earth's crust. It's very rocky. So now let's learn about just a hierarchy about the types of rocks, which we'll learn in this lesson. Rocks are classified into three major types: igneous rocks, example is basalt; sedimentary rock, an example is limestone; metamorphic rocks, an example. I also have pictures in case you guys want a better understanding of this topic. Types of rocks. Now let's learn about one of the types of rocks, igneous rocks. So whenever a volcano erupts, there's a molten magma that erupts out of the volcano, and sometimes this molten magma can harden or cool down and solidify into a rock known as igneous rocks. So igneous rocks can be classified into two types. First, intrusive igneous rocks. So sometimes, though, when the molten magma actually cools and turns to a rock inside the Earth's crust, so whenever the magma is not erupted, but the magma cools and hardens to a rock in the Earth's crust, is known as intrusive. Whereas extrusive rocks, when the molten magma cools and hardens and solidifies to the rock outside the Earth's crust. So let's say this is a volcano. When the magma actually erupts onto the surface and turns to a rock, it's known as extrusive. And whenever a volcano, the magma stays inside the volcano and solidifies into a rock, it is intrusive igneous rocks. Now let's learn about sedimentary rock, the next type. So due to agents such as water and wind, a rock can sometimes break apart into fragments, and known as sediments. These fragments are known as sediments. And due to agents such as water and wind, again, these sediments can compress or compact, and they can form layers of the rock, and they can form a new rock due to the compression and compact of the different sediments. So let's just suppose that there's two different rocks. One of them is a basalt, which is a type of igneous rocks, and the other one is sandstone. So basalt and sandstone, let's say they're two rocks. So these rocks can break apart into fragments. So in the sediments, one of them is a basalt fragment, basalt sediment, other one is sandstone sediment. Sometimes these basalt and sediments can compress and compact and form a whole new rock known as sedimentary rock. Examples are sandstone. Sandstone is a sedimentary rock used to build houses, and limestone. Limestone is actually a sedimentary rock used to build the pyramids. So the definition of sedimentary rock is very important. Just try to learn it. Sedimentary rocks are rocks that are formed when fragments of rocks called sediments are compressed to form layers of the rocks, or a new rock known as sedimentary rock. Now let's learn about metamorphic rocks. So let's suppose there are two rocks. The first one, this is actually sandstone, a sedimentary rock, so Sr. And this next one is igneous rock, basalt, so maybe Br. Sometimes, due to great heat and pressure from the crust, this sedimentary rock and this basalt rock, or this igneous rock, can actually change into a whole new different rock. Well, the mineral particles, due to great heat and pressure, can change, and they'll change the entire rock to a new rock, and this rock is known as metamorphic rock. So clay is actually sedimentary rock. Due to great heat and pressure, it'll change to slate, which is a metamorphic rock, and limestone, which is a sedimentary rock, can turn into marble, which is it'll turn to marble, which is a metamorphic rock as well. The metamorphic rocks are basically rocks that are formed when other types of rocks, due to great heat and pressure, are changed into this whole new different rock. Now let's learn about the uses of rocks. The rocks are useful in many games, such as 7 stones, hopscotch, 5 stones, fun games. It's one of the uses of rocks, very useful of rocks. Now for constructions, rocks are very important for constructions. So for roads, the construction of roads, houses, and buildings, rocks are very important. So the rock cycle is another important concept that we need to learn while learning about rocks. So the rock cycle is basically when the rocks are transformed into one another in a cyclic manner, or basically in a circle manner. So to actually understand the rock cycle, it starts off with the magma. The magma from the crust, it erupts, right? So sometimes the magma that erupts, as we know, when magma erupts and cools down and solidifies, it turns to igneous rocks. And igneous rocks and metamorphic rocks, sometimes they'll just break apart due to agents into sediments, alright, as we learn. And these sediments can again turn into sedimentary rock. And sometimes igneous rock and sedimentary rock, due to great heat and pressure, as we learn, they turn to another rock, metamorphic rock. As you can see, these rocks are transformed from one another in the cyclic manner. And also, metamorphic rock can also melt into magma again. So the cycle goes on forever and forever. What's very interesting about it. So the rock cycle is the process of transformations from a rock from one to another. So the magma is transforming to the igneous rock. The igneous rocks and the metamorphic rock is transforming to the sediments, which then again form sediments, sedimentary rock, and the sedimentary rock, and the igneous rock form metamorphic rock, and the metamorphic rock again transforms and melts into magma. It goes on and on, it's transforming. It's a cyclic manner, which means it's kind of a circle. And yeah, it's a very important concept. Let's try to understand, try to learn this definition as well. But I hope you guys got the basic point on how the rock cycle takes place. Minerals. Minerals is another topic, because we're learning about rocks and minerals in this next concept of this chapter 2. So now let's learn about minerals. Minerals are basically, in any rock, it's made up of minerals. Or that's what every single rock is made up of, minerals. So the definition of minerals are naturally occurring substances which have certain physical properties and a definite chemical composition. So certain physical properties means that some like minerals are kind of crystal-like, and some minerals can be like a different color. So they have certain physical properties and a definite chemical composition. So examples of minerals are like maybe iron ore, gold, etc. Minerals are very important for us because as minerals are used in fuels, and fuels are very important for us, such as petroleum, natural gas, etc. So minerals are very useful for us, and yeah, minerals are found in rocks. So guys, that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more upSchool videos coming your way. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. I worked pretty hard on this lesson. Hope you guys got a better understanding of Chapter 2, Inside Our Earth, Class 7 Geography, Chapter 2. Hope you guys enjoyed this upSchool video. Stay tuned for more videos coming your way from upSchool. This is upSchool signing off. Peace.